Thank you very much, and nice to be here. Right, okay. As I roved out of a bright May morning, calm and clear was the weather, a chance to roam some miles from home among the beautiful blooming heather, and it's heather on the moor, over the heather, over the moor and along the heather, a chance to roam some miles from home among the beautiful blooming heather, and it's heather on the moor. As I roved along with me hunting song and me heart as light as any feather, I met a pretty maid upon the way. She was tripping the dew down from the heather, and this heather on the moor, over the heather, over the moor and among the heather. I met a pretty maid upon the way. She was tripping the dew down from the heather, and this heather on the moor. Where are you going to, me pretty fair maid? By hill or dale, come tell me whether. Right modestly she answered me, to the feeding of my lambs together, and this heather on the moor, over the heather, over the moor and among the heather. Right modestly she answered me, to the feeding of my lambs together, and this heather on the moor. Well, we both shook hands and down we sat, for it being the finest day in summer. And we sat till the red setting beams of the sun came sparkling down among the heather, and it's heather on the moor, over the heather, over the moor and among the heather. We sat till the red setting beams of the sun came sparkling down among the heather, and it's heather on the moor. She says I must away, for me sheep and lambs have strayed from other. But I am alone to part from you, as those fond lambs are to part their mother, and it's heather on the moor, over the heather, over the moor and among the heather. And I am alone to part from you, as those fond lambs are to part their mother, and it's heather on the moor. Up she rose and away she goes, and her place and name I know not either. But if I was king, I'd make her queen, the lass I met among the heather, and this heather on the moor, over the heather, over the moor and among the heather. If I was king, I'd make her queen, the lass I met among the heather, and this heather on the moor. Thank you very much.
So we're going to play a couple of set of 3 reels, starting off with a couple of Sligo tunes that I learnt from a fella called John Stinson many years ago.
When I was on the road in Eastern Europe in the late 60s, I came to the town of Bucharest and I had nowhere to stay. And the people who had brought me there, I was hitchhiking, the people who brought me there said, well, why didn't you stay in this forest? You have a little tiny tent, haven't you? And I said, yes. And so I pitched the tent in the middle of the forest, and it was called Banassa Forest. And it was a lovely place, as the song will tell you, but there was a policeman who came by every now and again, and I always thought that he was going to say, you can't stay here, get out, get out, get out. But he didn't. He said, this is a bit dangerous. He said, there are a lot of outlaws around here. And I thought, outlaws in forests, wow, how exciting. But anyway, I stayed there with my girlfriend for about 3-4 weeks. And when I'd finished...
It was an early version of Airbnb.
Open Airbnb.
Well, eventually I left there and I wrote this song to remind myself of what it was like. And it's called Banassa's Green Glade, and it's followed by a Bulgarian tune. Like, the Romanians hated that, and the Bulgarians hated that I'd written a song about Romania before playing one of their tunes. So, but they're not here tonight, hopefully. And Banassa's Green Glade and Mominsko Horo. In Banassa's green forest, out under the trees, we'd lie on our backs, we'd live at our ease. We'd wake in the morning at the first shafts of day and watch the shy deer as they scampered away. We'd rise from our warm beds as the sun got higher and cook up our breakfast on a sweet-scented fire. In the still early morning, a cool, gentle breeze and the echo of woodpeckers rings through the trees. We'd sit in our glade till the heat of the day, walk down to the zoo to sing and to play. Well, the money rolled in and the people looked on. When the hat was quite full, we'd up and be gone. Down the Vitsa Tavern, we spent money free and drank to our friends where'er they may be. We talk of old times, fond memories we trade. At dusk we'd walk home to Banassa's green glade.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, we're going to start. This is the album now. Yeah. The album.
Not
And
necessarily in that order.
yeah, well, yeah. But the first song that we're going to do is a song about a girl who was propositioned by a platoon of soldiers, and she went to great lengths to dress herself up as a soldier and go to the barracks, and they turned her away because they didn't realize she was a girl. They were kind of the most stupid platoon of soldiers that ever carried a gun, and she got away with it. And she went home, and she was in the state that she'd been born in. Can you say that?
Indiana. Indiana, is it?
You can't unsay it now.
Anyway, it's called Martin this time, and it goes like this. It fell out upon one Martinmas time, when snow lay on the border. There came a troop of soldiers here to take up their winter quarters. And they rode north and they rode south, and they rode over the border, and there they met with a nice little girl, and she was a farmer's daughter. And they made her swear a solemn oath with the salt tear in her eye, oh, that she would come to the quarter gates when no one did her spy, oh. And she's gone to the barber shop went soon, oh, made them cut her long yellow hair as short as any dragoon, oh, with me rightfully legal Lila daddy, oh, me rightfully legal Irie. And she's gone to the tailor's shop and dresses in soldier's clothes, oh, two long pistols down by her side, a nice little boy was she, oh, with me rightfully legal Lila daddy, oh, me rightfully legal Irie. And she's gone to the quarter gates, and loudly she does call, oh, there comes a troop of soldiers here, and we must have lodgings all, oh, with me rightfully legal Lila daddy, oh, me rightfully legal Irie. And the quartermaster, he comes down, he gives her half a crown, oh, go find your lodgings in the town, for tonight there is no room, oh, with me rightfully legal Lila daddy, oh, me rightfully legal Irie. Moved nearer to the gates, louder she does call, oh, room, room, you gentlemen, well, we must have lodgings all, oh, will me rightfully legal Lila daddy, oh, me rightfully legal Irie. And the quartermaster, he comes down, he gives her 18 pence, oh, go find your lodgings in the town, for tonight there comes a wench, oh, with me rightfully legal Lila daddy, oh, me rightfully legal Irie. And she took a whistle from her side, she blew it loud and shrill, oh, you're all very free with your 18 pence, but you're not for a girl at all, oh, with me rightfully legal Lila daddy, oh, me rightfully legal Irie. And she took the garters from her knees, the ribbons from her hair, oh, she's tied them around the quarter gates as a token she's been there. Oh, with me right, fa-lay-de-lee-de-lie-la, daddy-o, me right, fa-lay-de-lee-de-lie-lee. And when they found that it was her, they tried to have her taken, but she strapped her spurs to her horse's side. She's galloped home a maiden. Good. I learned that song from Anne Briggs, who should get a mention here because she was a great singer.
No, I was living in the States, probably illegally, in the early 70s. And minding my own business, and I just put I just left, well, this group, the Johnstons, I was with for a couple of years, had all imploded, and I was sort of stuck there and trying to figure out what to do with myself, and I put together a set of songs, and this song was one of them, and I got a letter in the post from Liam O'Flynn. This would have been now 1974, probably, asking me to come back and join Planksty because Christy Moore was leaving. And I says, will I what? On the next plane. Well, actually, I wasn't on the next plane. I couldn't afford the fare at the time. I had to work for 2 weeks to afford the fare. And then I got back. Them were the days. And I arrived back, and the boys said to me, have you any songs, Paul? I said, yeah, I have this song here. I've just learned, you know. And they said, what's it called? And I said, it's called Arthur McBride. Yeah! And but they had just put the same song on their current album, like, you know, in a much superior version. And but I whinged a bit, and they let me do it.
Well, you played it. Do you remember that pub in Buncrana?
Yeah, one
first time
Sunday afternoon.
we met you after you'd arrived back in Ireland.
Yeah.
And in the pub, somebody said, Paul, give us a song. Oh, give us that song. Give us your song.
Yeah.
And we were all just knocked out because it was...
No pressure in it.
He needs a bit of pressure.
Oh, me and me cousin, one Arthur McBride, we went a-walking down by the seaside. Now mark what followed and what did betide, for it being on Christmas morning. Out for recreation we went on a tramp, and we met Sergeant Napper and Corporal Vamp, and a little wee drummer intending to camp, for the day being pleasant and charming. good morning, the sergeant did cry, and the same to you gentlemen we did reply, intending no harm but meant to pass by, for it being on Christmas morning. But says he, my fine fellows, if you will enlist, it's 10 guineas in gold that will slip in your fist, and a crown in the bargain for to kick up the dust and drink the king's health in the morning. For a soldier he leads a very fine life, and he always is blessed with a charming young wife, and he pays all his debts without sorrow or strife, and always lives pleasant and charming. And the soldier he always is decent and clean, in the finest of clothing he's constantly seen, while other poor fellows go dirty and mean, and sup on thin gruel in the morning. Well, says Arthur, I wouldn't be proud of your clothes, for you've only the length of them, as I suppose, and you dare not change them one night, for you know if you do, you'll be flogged in the morning. And although that we are single and free, we take great delight in our own country, and we have no desire strange places to see, although that your offers are charming. And we have no desire to take your advance, all hazards and dangers we bar to run chance, for you would have no scruples for to send us to France. Well, we would get shot without warning. Now says the sergeant, I'll have no such chat, and I neither will take it from Smalpeen or Brat, for if you insult me with one other word, I'll cut off your heads in the morning. And then Arthur and I, we soon drew our hearts, and we scarce gave them time for to draw their own blades, when a trusty shillelagh came over their heads, and bade them take it at his fair warning. And their old rusty rapiers that hung by their side, we flung them as far as we could in the tide. Now take them out, devils, cried Arthur McBride, and temper their rage in the morning. And the little wee drummer, we flattened his pow, and we made a football of his rowdy-dow-dow, threw it in the tide for to rock and to roll, and added the tedious returning. And we haven't no money, paid them off in cracks, and we paid no respect to their two bloody backs, for we lathered them there like a pair of wet sacks, and left them for dead in the morning. And so to conclude and to finish disputes, we obligingly asked if they wanted recruits, for we were the lads that would give them hard clothes and bid them look sharp in the morning. I'll find what follows. What can you find for a dear on Christmas morning?
Thank you.
Brilliant, Paul.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you.
This is another song, like Paul was talking earlier about Sam Henry's collection. And Sam Henry was an excise man, which apparently in the north was called...
A water rat.
A water rat, yes. Why was he called a water... Why was an excise man called a water rat?
Well, because I think it was something to do with Loch Foyle or something, because the Republic and the North and people were smuggling across the lake.
Ah, right.
Or no, Loch... Yeah, that would have been
So
it.
he was kind of checking out the lake for people...
Submarines full of butter.
Anyway, apart from that, he met an awful lot of people in the countryside in Northern Ireland, and he realised there were a lot of songs still extant there, and he also had a column in the Northern Constitution, which was a newspaper in Coleraine, and he invited the readers to send in songs, and they sent them in by the ton, and many years later, I think his granddaughter it was who put them all together in a volume called "Songs of the People," and it's a wonderful collection. And this is a song from it called "Bonnywood Hall." Sorry,
Get comfortable now.
yes, bit of comfort, yes. Oh. Right, you ready? Down by yon green bushes near Calder's clear stream, where me and my Annie so often have been, when the hours that flew past us, right happy were we. It was little she thought that a soldier I'd be. But it's farewell to Annie, and I must away. For the king he needs soldiers, I must obey. But if Providence prove kind love until I return, I will wed with my Annie near Calder's clear burn. On the 14th of August, our regiment was lost, and a ball from the enemy our lines came across. Oh, it struck me in the temple, and the blood trickled down. I reeled and I staggered, and I fell to the ground. Come here, says our captain, come here with good speed, for I fear by this bullet yon Kinsmore lies dead. Two men with a stretcher did quickly prepare, and they carried me away to a hospital there. Cold water and brandy they poured out so free. They turned me all over, my wounds for to see. But if I had my Annie to bind up my wounds, one kiss from her sweet lips would soon deaden the stew. And it's when I am weary and think on lang syne, when I was a miner and wrought in the mine. Oh, the tears they do trickle and down they do fall, like the roses that bloom round Ponywood Hall.
Okay, we will carry on this time with a couple of songs about soldiers and women. I don't know, girls. Was it the uniform or what? I don't know. Anyway, it's a song called The Jolly Soldier, and we'll follow it with a jig called The Blarney Pilgrim, for no apparent reason that we could figure at the time, other than that it sounded good. 2, 3. Saw the jolly soldier that lately came from war. He loved a fair young damsel, a damsel so fair, and her fortune was so great that it could scarcely be told. And she loved the jolly soldier boy because he was so bold. Oh, then cried the lady, I fain would be your wife, but me father he is cruel, and he surely taken me life. He drew out his sword and pistol, and he hung them by his side, and he swore that he would marry her and let what would betide. So they went and they got married as they were coming home. They met all her old father and 7 armed men. Let us flee, cried the lady, for we surely will be slain. Fear nothing, my dear charmer, the soldier cried again. Then up came the old man, and unto her they say, it's for your disobedience to me this very day, that since you have been so mean as to be a soldier's wife, down in this lonesome valley I will surely take your life. Oh, now cried the soldier, I do not like your prattle, for although I am a bridegroom, I am well prepared for battle. He drew out his sword and pistol, and he caused them for to roar, and the lady held the bridle while the soldier battled sore. First one he came to, he ran him through a main, and the second one he came to, he served him just the same. Let us flee, cried the others, for we surely will be slain. Fight on, my dear charmer, the lady cried again. Stay your hand, cried the old man, you're making me blood run cold, and you shall have me daughter and 500 pounds in gold. Fight on, cried the lady, for his offer is too small. Stay your hand, cried the old man, and you shall have it all. So he's taken them both home, and he's made them both his heirs. And it wasn't out of love, but it was from dread and fear. And there never was a soldier ever carried a gun who would ever flinch or budge, and then still the battle he had won. So don't despise a soldier just because he's poor. He's as happy on the battlefield as at the barrack door. For they are the lads to be jovial, brisk and free, and they'll fight for the pretty girls for rights and liberty. Thank you.
Thank you. Whoops.
This one is called Mary and the Soldier, and here we go. Come all you lads of high renown that would hear of a fair young maiden, and she roved out of a summer's day for to view the soldiers parading. They march so bold and they look so gay, the colours flying and the bands did play, which caused young Mary for to say, how wed you me gallant soldier. She viewed the soldiers on parade, and as they stood at their leisure, and Mary to herself did say, at last I found me treasure. But oh, what cruel my parents must be, to banish me darling so far from me. Well, I'll leave them all and I'll go with thee, me bold undaunted soldier. Oh, Mary dear, your parents' love, I pray don't be unruly, for when you're in a foreign land, believe me, you'll rue it surely. Perhaps in battle I might fall from a shot from an angry cannonball. And you so far from your daddy's hall, be advised by a gallant soldier. I have 50 guineas in bright gold, likewise a heart that's bolder, and I'll leave them all and I'll go with you, me bold undaunted soldier. So don't sing oh but let me go, and I will face the daring foe, and we'll march together to and fro, and I'll wed you me gallant soldier. And when he saw her loyalty, and Mary so true-hearted, he said, me darling, married we'll be, and nothing but death will part us. And when we're in a foreign land, I'll guard you, darling, with my right hand, in hopes that God might stand a friend to Mary and her gallant soldier. Thank you. Good stuff.